Just let me tell you first. Before few days ago, I was just looking for some new comics books. Okay, new for me because I haven't read already. Okay, so I was looking for some new comics books and I got something new that was making comics, storytelling secrets of comics, manga, and graphic novels. That is awesome, and I'm excited to read this. So hope you guys it will help you to imagine the comic, and also it will help you to about storytelling. So I was just also looking for storytelling, how can I imagine and visualize the story with the pictures, right? So without any further ado, let's get started. Let's have a fun with this book. The book name is Making Comics, Storytelling Secrets of Comics, Manga, and Graphic Novels. Now you can see how beautiful it is, right? Guys, let me tell you, here is the background noise, so if it is there, so sorry for that. Please bear with me. Okay, from the author of Understanding Comics, Scott MC Cloud. Let's see how it is. Learn how to choose the right moment to clarify and strengthen your stories, frame actions, and guide your readers' eyes through each comics page. Choose words and pictures that communicate together, create varied and compelling new characters, master lead body language and facial expression. Yeah, I was also excited to know about how the body language can be and the facial expression, because when you start to draw something, and you will find there are lots of things that that you would have to learn, like facial expressions and body language. Even if you want to make a simplest comic book, you will have to learn so many things: facial expressions, body language, uh, gesture, figure drawing. There are lots of things, but don't have to be worried. It is interesting to learn everything. Okay, create rich, believable worlds of you for your readers to explore. Pick the tools that are right for you. Navigate the vast world of comics, styles, and genres. Here you can see the right side. Praise for Understanding Comics by Scott MC Cloud. If you read, write, teach, or draw comics, if you want to, or if you simply want to watch a master explainer at work, you must read this book. So basically, guys, I want to tell you, if you want to make any sketchbook or want to draw from your imagination, then you have to follow someone. So I think it is the best way to learn from books. There are lots of books, there are lots of books on internet freely available. Just pick up there and start to read. Like, you can also follow me for new books. I will suggest you the all the books that will help you to learn. Okay. Okay, understanding comics is a must read for any true connoisseur of comics. Okay, this is the book name. We will know. I will tell you about new books. MC Cloud. Basically, the Scott MC Cloud is the author that he said is the award-winning creator of Jot, Understanding Comics and Reinventing Comics. This his books are available in 16 languages. Sin City creator Frank Miller called him just about the smarter guy in comics. You can see the smarter guy. Okay, making comics, storytelling secret of comics, manga, and graphic novels. From the author of Understanding Comics, Scott. Oh, it is repeating, right? So let it go. Let's read it. What is here? Pray. Visit any big bookstore and you will find tons of how to draw books on the shelves aimed at comics artists. Flip through them and you will see step by step instruction on drawing manga, schoolgirl outfit, superhero muscles, and strip gags. These are the books that tell you what they all assume you want to know: how to draw like your favorite artist, and they are pretty good at it. Yeah, it is right. But there is something they are not. They're not telling you what. In fact, there is a whole book's worth of secret they are leaving out. If you have ever felt there must be something more to making comics than just copying drawing styles, then this is the book for you. In these pages I have done my best to cover the storytelling secrets I don't see any other books taking about the ideas ever comics artist needs to tackle before they even pick up a pen, including. And that is what I want. And every artist, I think, they want. Choosing the right moments to make into panels, what to include, what to leave out, framing action and guiding the reader's eyes, choosing words and images that communicate together, creating varied and compelling characters with inner lives and unforgettable appearances, mastering body language and facial expression. That is what interesting. Creating rich, believable worlds for your readers to explore, picking the tools that are right for you and understanding how those tools evolve, navigating the vast world of comic styles and genres. I think genres is kind of a category. Mm, there are different types of there are different kinds of comics are there in market, and you can draw. That is called genres, I think. Like action, emotions, uh, accent kind of comics, and emotional kind of comics, and romantic kind of comics. That is genres. The comic industry is changing fast. Old formats die and new ones are born. Whole industries come and go, but these storytelling principles always apply. They mattered 50 years ago and they will matter 50 years from now. Yeah, right. Whether you want to draw graphic novels, superheroes, manga style comic strips, or web comics, you are going to be putting one picture after another to tell a story. Here is how. Oh. So contents. So, I'm not going to read all the contents. You can see. Okay. The contents we're gonna cover by reading. Okay, I can read, because if I will have some ideas that what I'm going to read, that will be interesting for me, right? So let's read. Writing with pictures. That is what. Clarity, precision. The five choices of moment. Connecting the dots. The six transitions. Choice of frame. Distance, angle, and POV. Stabilizing shots. The reader's camera. Choice of image. Choice of words. Choice of flow. Directing the eye beyond the page, five choices checklist, working methods, panel by panel improve. Clarity, visual intensity, various persuasions, notes and exercise. Bro, you can see how it is detailed, so you can think the author has made this book. I really appreciate that who made this book for us. I really appreciate, and I want to thank you. The power of words, tools, techniques, and technology. Okay, we will read. Your place in comic, world building, making comics. Okay, now interesting part. Okay. Now, okay, yeah, getting started. Introduction. So, you want to make comics? Yeah, definitely, I want. They want to make the kind that readers remember, the kinds of stories they will keep thinking about for hours or even days after they have read them. Definitely. Do you want to create comic that pull readers into the world of the story? A reading experience so seamless that it doesn't feel like reading at all but like being there. Populated by characters so vivid they seem as real as the reader's own friend and family. Well, so I do. Do I? And that's why I created this book, because if I can teach anyone else to make great comics, maybe I can teach myself as well. Yeah, definitely. If you know something very well, then you should spread this. Otherwise, how will you know that you know very well? That is the point. Because if you have something and there is no use of this, then what is mean? Nothing. If you have something and that is something beautiful that you can share with someone, and also they are interested, that is the good thing, I think. Okay, in 20 years on the job, I have learned enough about comics to fill two books, various articles, and a few thousand hours of talking to anyone who had listen. But my own comics stories have never been as good as I know they could be. I'm sure I can do a better job, and I am determined to learn how. I'm also bro. Some challenges like improving my figure drawing can only be met by hard work, observation and study. Unfortunately, there are plenty of good teachers out there for that sort of thing. But there is much more to making great comics than drawing and writing skill. Comic is a secret language all its own, and mastering it poses challenges unlike any faced by prose writers, illustrators, or any other creative professionals. Unfortunately, apart from a few great books on the subject, most of that territory has remained unexplored until now. You can see here the how it is beautiful. It is not in detail, but also if you are making some easy artworks, it is also difficult if you don't have much idea about perspective drawing, figure drawing. So how it is important even if you want to draw some simple sketch, right? Okay, so for your sake and mine, I have gone back to the drawing board once more and collected everything I know about the art of telling stories with pictures. So let me tell you guys, sorry, I want to share with you guys. So before last 6 months, I was just curious to know about how I can draw from my imagination with the story. How can I connect the drawing with the word? And I find some difficulty. It is not easy, bro. When I started to draw, I got so many difficulties, like perspective. How can I draw in perspective? How can I draw the character in perspective? So it is difficult, it is not easy. So you have to learn from the books, or there are lots of videos available on YouTube. Also in my YouTube channel I have made some videos, you can see, and perhaps it will help you to learn how to make comics and how to imagine story, and then connect, how to connect with the story. So maybe it will help you. And also there are lots of books available, I will suggest you further in future. You can go and yeah, start to read, that is interesting. Okay, then figure out what I didn't know, fill in those gaps and put it all together. These are the bedrock principles of comic storytelling, concepts that go far deeper than the usual how to books. The principle of clarity and communications, for examples, and how they govern the ways our stories are paged. You can see here how it is beautiful, the design. You can see where I'm gonna write all these stuffs. You can see here how beautiful it is designed. You can see the texture and the shadow behind this template, and this one and this one. Yeah, beautiful, right? Framed and rendered. How the render's eye is guided from panel to panel, and how the render's mind is persuaded to care about what it see. Yeah, it is important what you are seeing in the frame. That is important. And how will you make all these stuffs? How artists connect with the readers on a human level through characters design. Very important. Scott. Facial expression and body language. How whole worlds are constructed on the page and in the reader's imaginations. How words and pictures can combine to create effect that neither could create separately. Why people choose the tools they do to create these stories, and why they choose one kind of story over another. Whether you are drawn to comic strips, comic books, or graphic novels, whether you like Japanese, European, North American, or any other regional styles, whether you work in print, online, or both, these are the issues you will have to face. These are the issues you will have to face. Okay, let's see what is the issue. You won't tell you the right way to write or draw, because there is no such thing. Any style, any approach, any tool can work in comics if it's right for you. Okay, but your choice narrow when you want your comics to provide a specific reaction in readers. That's when certain methods might do the job for you and other won't. There are no limit to what you can feel that blank page with once you understand the principles that all comic storytelling is built upon. In short, there are no rules. Okay, basically they want to there is no rules. And also I heard so many times that if you are trying to make drawings and there is not such a great rules, if you will follow them and you will become a great artist and you will, right? Yeah, definitely you can become a great artist by following someone. Definitely you have to follow. I have a perception that you should have to follow someone, because they will guide you in a better way. But at the end what you would have to do, I think, if I will not practice and only I will follow someone, then doesn't mean that you're gonna improve yourself, right? Your skill, your drawing skill, your storytelling. So at the end you have to practice a lot. When I started to know about perspective drawing, I'm telling about myself. When I started to know about perspective drawing, there are lots of stuffs that you have to know about perspective. But when I tried to make anything, I got some difficulty. Like after watching all those videos of perspective drawing and reading perspective, about perspective, so still I had lots of, I was making lots of mistakes and I had didn't know anything about how to draw perspective. So what I did, I started to draw in perspective whatever I knew that time. So like that time I was only interested in cube and circle. That time I started draw all those stuffs, and also I started to draw in perspective, like how the cube will look in perspective, and when the in presence of light how it will look, the shadow and all those stuffs. Okay, so I'm agree with the author. And here they are, making comics. Chapter 1: Writing with pictures, clarity, persuasion, and intensity. So it is interesting writing with pictures, because in the starting when I started to write a comic book, I got so many difficulties, as I told you. So I was words like, uh, what I'm gonna tell someone in my comic book, and what I want to convey someone in my comic book. I knew, But when I started to draw comic, I find some difficulty, like how to connect the word and the pictures, because sometimes I knew how to draw the pictures. That time the word was not there. I had not words. Let's see in this chapter 1 what we're going to learn about writing with pictures, how we can uh, add words with the pictures. For as long as people have been telling stories to one another. Okay, let me read again. For as long as people have been telling stories to one another, right? Storytellers like you and me have wanted two things from our audiences. We want them to understand what we have to tell them, and we want them to care enough to stick around till we are done. Yeah, definitely we want. To achieve that first goal, you will need to learn the principles of communicating with clarity. And to achieve the second goal, you will need to learn which elements of a work can persuade your audience to stay with you. If the story you have in mind is compelling in and of itself, then telling it straight with a maximum of clarity may be the only persuasion your audience will need. It was a dark and stormy night. Tap, 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 tap. In comic, that story will need to take the form of images in sequence, perhaps with words. Dark night. And storm too. Yes, it is. Dark and stormy. Now what? I'm not able to see these words, what is written here. So let it go. Comic requires. Comic requires us to make a constant stream of choices regarding imagery, pacing, dialogue, composition, gesture, and tone of other options. So let's start by examining how that conversation is done when clarity and communications are the primary goals. And these choices break down into five basic types. Let's see what. Choice of moment. Deciding which moments to include in a comic story and which to leave out. Choose a frame. Okay, let's see again. I'm going to read. Deciding which moment, the first one, choice of moment. Deciding which moment to include in a comic story and which to leave out. Okay, first of all, I have to decide what I want and what I don't want. I will leave out. Choice of frame, choosing the right distance and angle to view those moments and where to trim them. Okay, so at the end, I have to decide. Choice of image, rendering the characters, objects, and environment in those frames clearly. Rendering the character, objects, and environments in those frames clearly. Okay, rendering is the important part. Choice of word, picking words that add valuable information and work well with the images around them. Choice of flow, guiding readers through and between panels on a page or a screen. These are the five arenas where your choice can make the difference between clear, convincing storytelling and confusing mess. Choice of moment, choice of frame, choice of image, choice of words, choice of flow. It is very important. I know. Starting at the top, let's take a look at each one and how they fit together. Choice of moment. Choice of moment. These early choices are comics rough planning stage where a story's event are first broken down into readable chunks. Suppose, for example, that you wanted to show a man walking, nothing fancy, just a sketch. Yeah, in the starting I don't want fancy, I want just sketch, simple sketch, simplest sketch. Yeah, in the starting I was like, when I didn't know even a single thing in comics, that time I was thinking like, I will draw like a Spider-Man and how detailed it is, like a Iron Man. I will draw those type of comics. But when I started to draw them, I find lots of difficulties. And then what I did, obviously, I quit all these things and started to read books. And then I realized how it is difficult, and you should start from the basics. That is the good idea. Okay, then let's say the man finds a key on the ground, picks it up, takes it with him, and comes to a door. So unlocks the door, and then I do know, a hungry lion jumps out. Here is how a sequence like that might take shape in comics form. Okay, that is important. Here you can see. So thank you guys. Now I'm going to stop the reading. So see you in the next video, and we will start to read another pages. We will start further. And let me tell you, guys, I will upload daily. I'm trying to upload daily videos, and I will let you inform that how many books are there, and how many books I'm going to read with you. And hope you will watch this video and subscribe my channel, hopefully. So thank you. If it helps you, I want to nothing. Okay, thank you. See you in the next video. Bye.